Last multiplayer season, players were awarded blueprints for the Ford Shelby Gt350R. Now, fortunately, that last multiplayer season, I somehow managed to end up in Legends League. I was super happy about that. Obviously, none of you guys care, but I feel like I should at least somewhat brag because I'm super proud of myself. Anyways, once I finished that season, I needed one more blueprint for the Shelby Gt350R. And then I saw that blueprints were available to me in my exclusive deals for 30,000 credits. So I thought, you know what, considering I saved up 1.4 million credits already, 30,000 credits is not that much, so I got the blueprint. This car appears to be the best of the best in Class D, as when you go in the garage and you scroll to the right, you'll see that this car is the last car before you go to Class C. Since this car is supposedly a Class D king, I had to test out in multiplayer. As always, gotta do the upgrades first. Now this car requires 4 stars, meaning I can only upgrade to level 4 for all the categories. However, with a few additional pro kits, my final rank was 1356. Okay, let's do our first multiplayer race. This car is available from Bronze League all the way to Legends League, so even in my first race when I start out in Bronze League, I can use this car. My competition was really bad, and that's expected because this is a really good car for Class D compared to all the other cars that can be used for Bronze League. And you can probably guess, I did win this race by a long shot, but we should also take a look at the stats. The acceleration, as you can see here, well, to be honest, all cars in Asphalt 9 have really bad acceleration compared to cars from Asphalt 8. So, it's kind of hard to say whether it's good acceleration or bad acceleration, but in my opinion, compared to the other cars that I've driven in this game so far, the acceleration for this car is not too bad. I'm gonna say it's mediocre, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. The handling and drifting also seem pretty okay, although I didn't really experiment with it that much in this race. Meanwhile, the top speed is not bad, I guess. I mean, at a rank of 1356, 182 miles an hour top speed sounds pretty okay. Maybe not the best, but still pretty decent. Besides that though, there's not much else to say. Let me finish this race, get first place, and ooh, I want you guys to guess, how much do you think I went up in my rating for multiplayer? 10 maybe? 15? Let's see. Apparently that's not that impressive. Some people went up by 50 or 60, but I mean, I'm close enough. I feel good about it. Anyways, next race. Now that I was in Silver League, I was subject to a lot more abuse by other people. Not only in Silver League, but people in Gold League too. And as you can see, there's a Porsche 911 rank 1881. That's like a little more than 500 rank above me. And I know a lot of you guys in the comments are saying that rank doesn't matter. You say it's all about skill, and I guess I sort of see that a more skilled person would have an easier time beating these higher ranked cars, but don't you think that having these higher ranked cars would be at least slightly harder than those lower ranked cars? It will. I mean, think about it this way, let's do the two extremes. Have a BMW Z4 rank 800 fighting a Bugatti Chiron rank 3000. Which one's gonna win? Because if you're telling me it's the BMW Z4, you got some mad skills there, man, or that Bugatti Chiron driver just sucks. In this race, I managed to get second place and almost first place from both luck and skill, and you could definitely argue that, hey look, this proves that rank doesn't matter. But I'm fairly confident that if I was a higher ranked Shelby, I would have had a even easier time beating these people. But yay, this car proves to be pretty good so far, even when I'm against people in the Gold League. Let's see how well I do now that I'm even higher up in the Silver League. In this next race, I'm in quite a bit of trouble. I have 2 Lotuses above the rank of 1700 and a few other cars in the 1700s range. This looks pretty difficult. Let's see if I have what it takes to win this race. From the get-go, there's already one car that is on my tail, trying to knock me down. It was a Dodge SRT8, and I just felt compelled to do a 360, which knocked him down, but ruined my performance at the start. Let's see if I can catch up. Not really working out, and I'm struggling to maintain 5th place, until this happens. I managed to knock down someone and land in 4th place, fortunately bringing up my rating by 5. I was pretty darn happy. My next race was still pretty difficult, but at least I had this car's sibling, another Shelby Gt350R, in the race. And what do you know? The first 2 cars to get knocked down was me and the other Shelby Gt350R. Kinda crazy. I mean, I was hoping at least if I wrecked that this car's sibling could charge on forward and succeed, but both of us just died. Just like the last race, my beginning performance was ruined. However, unlike the last race, I did actually manage to catch up to other cars. In fact, I got to 2nd place, which is good enough for me. Anything in the top 3 is already good enough for me. You guys can see how this race unfolds as it continues in this footage, but I'm gonna have an overall summary. In conclusion, this car is one of the Class D kings for sure. It has pretty great stats, seemingly good acceleration, drifting, handling, and pretty good overall top speed. However, this car is kinda hard to upgrade considering it's the only Class D vehicle that requires 4 stars for its upgrade levels. That's a little bit tricky. In addition, I find that this car may not be as useful as you might think, because most of us have been playing this game for a few weeks now, and we already have better cars in Class C, B, and A. And unless there's events only for Class D vehicles, people aren't going to use this car that much. I mean, all the events right now that include Class D usually include Class C. So, I mean, it's better to just use a Class C vehicle then. Also, for multiplayer, this car is good, but people like me would definitely use a higher ranked vehicle. For me, it's the Porsche 911, as you can see here. It's much faster and better in almost every single way. And this is the car I would use instead of the Ford Shelby. If any of you have a few blueprints right now and are thinking about spending a few tokens to buy some extra blueprint cards for this car, I don't really recommend that. I'd rather you spend your tokens and credits on buying blueprints for better cars like the McLaren P1 or anything up in those Class A or S ranges. That's just my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but if you seriously want this car, by all means, you can get it. With that said, thank you guys so much for listening to this video. If you at least somewhat enjoyed, hit that like button. Can we get 200 likes? I hope so. Also, if you are at least slightly interested in this YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe. We are so close to 20,000 subscribers, and I mean, if that doesn't convince you, look at this sad teenage boy over here, okay? If you subscribe, he will smile so much more, so make sure to do so. And if you want, check out my YouTube Instagram at @theofficialaxis. I recently lost my phone somewhere in the sandy beaches of Singapore, but last time I checked, I was at 815 followers or so that's pretty good. Link in description if you want to check that out. Alright, that's enough self-advertising. Thank you for listening, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye!